Well, you did mention Ricky Pearsall. Shout out to the Niners, baby. Got to talk Niners. We ain't talk Niners a lot on this show, man. Shout out to the Niners. Let's go. Let's talk Ricky Pearsall. We got JHEN Jennings. We don't know what's going on with him right now. He hasn't been back yet. There's talks that he could be moved to PP or IR, whichever one it is. And there's talks that he may is still upset about his contract. The team has Brandon Ayuk expected to come back after about 6 weeks is the expectation right now. He will be on PUP to start the year. But that leaves kind of a void with pass catchers. Like everybody always talks about Christian McCaffrey in this offense, which obviously he's like the main thing that goes. And a lot of people were talking about Brian Robinson. But it's like Ricky Pearsall is the wide receiver one for this team as of right now. There's no other wide receiving threat at all on this team. Yeah. Where are you at with Ricky Pearsall? Because it sounded like you were kind of hyped about him a second ago.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And for the reason you just said, I have no idea if he's going to be good. Like, we just don't. I don't think last year was very fair because, we've talked about this in the past. He got shot early in the year. I would say that probably affected him a lot because it was also in the chest. So I feel like you kind of got to throw last year out a little bit just because that's an unfair circumstance for a player to be in. So for me personally, I just look at the situation where, yeah, maybe he's just not very good. Like it could work out where he's just not very good and he ends up being a waste of a pick here. But if he is good, there's so much opportunity in this offense with it's a Shanahan offense also. Like this will be very good for about 3 players. And right now he's the third guy. So if he steps up and he can be a good wide receiver in real life, there is no way he's not going to outproduce his ADP and be very valuable in fantasy football. Now, maybe he won't be a wide receiver one, but I could see if he is good, he could be a high-end wide receiver too that you're drafting in the 7th round, or he's just not very good. And that's what it is. So I think there's a wide range of outcomes and I think it's going to be one or the other. But I'm all for taking the shot because like you said, I don't think Brandon Ayuk's going to be himself this year.
You said all for taking the shot. Yeah, be careful with that, bro.
I didn't even think about that. But I don't think Brandon Ayuk's going to be himself this year. And I love Brandon Ayuk. I think Brandon Ayuk's a fantastic player, but he's coming off we always see it with these guys. It's not just the ACL tear. He also tore the MCL last year. So multiple ligaments, these guys are never themselves their first year back. And then Rashad Jennings, I don't,
you mean JHEN Jennings?
Yeah, I was going to say Rashad Jennings.
That's old school.
But JHEN Jennings is just we've also kind of talked about. I feel like he's kind of just a guy who got very lucky last year, a couple of really big games. So, but he's also not with the team. So it's one of those situations that just you got the best ability is availability, and he's not available right now. So there's opportunity here for Ricky Pearsall if he can be good. He also posted good success rates in Matt Harmon's reception perception. So there's opportunity, and that's all you can ask for in fantasy football.
Yeah, shout out to the team at Reception Perception. They always got, good information there on the site. But Ricky Pearsall, bro, we did see flashes last year. Saw some big games from him last season towards the end, and it was he can be a valuable piece. The problem is he also did that without Christian McCaffrey on the field, which matters, right? That is the big piece here. And I think they'll find creative ways to use him. There's a reason why they drafted him in the first round, the reason they were comfortable letting Deebo Samuel go. And he goes outside the top 40 receivers, which really isn't risky to me. It's you're getting a free chance at a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 for your team after, the top 40 receivers are gone. The only issue I can see here is that he's already going to be 3rd in the pecking order behind George Kittle, behind Christian McCaffrey. That's just what it is. And after week 6, probably closer to week 10 to week 8, somewhere in that range, he could be 4th in the pecking order behind Brandon Ayuk if he comes back, if he's healthy. A lot of ifs there, which we don't really like in fantasy, but there's a lot of ifs there. If JHEN Jennings signs, that's another person he has to compete with targets for. So I think Pearsall early will have a chance to prove himself and be valuable. He might be one of those players, Tyler, though, that I'm maybe I should trade him if he gets off to a strong start. That's kind of how I feel about Ricky Pearsall. I think he's good value where he's going and probably will outplay that early. My concern is as the season goes on, as the Niners get pieces back, maybe he might not be as valuable. But I do think there's a strong possibility that he hits because somebody in this offense has to, right? Somebody in this offense has to kind of exceed expectations. And he's the young guy. He's the one that they can really hinge on because Brandon Ayuk has shown he's a little upset at times. He can be a little against the grain at times. He's a diva. And we don't know if he's going to be fully ready to go by week 6, by week 8, by week 10. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So I like that Pearsall call there. The other player we got to talk about real quick is George Kittle. He's literally been the guy who has been the tight end 2, tight end 3, tight end 1 over the last like 6-7 years. It's him. He's been that. And, I know Brock Bowers obviously came in, had a strong rookie campaign. Trey McBride got the bag this offseason. He was a good he's been elite for the Cardinals over the last year and a half. But George Kittle has been a staple of our fantasy lineups for years. And on a points per game basis, he kills it because he's always injured about 2-3 games. He could be the main receiver on this team without Jawan Jennings and without Brandon Ayuk. Are we getting a really – I truly think we are getting a value right now. And George Kittle, he's kind of climbed up over this offseason. But even as the tight end 3 off the board, I think we're getting a massive value on George Kittle, who's going in like the 4th round right now, bro.
Yeah, I think in regular – so I'll say in best ball drafts, he does go in the 3rd round. He goes like right around those other guys. So in redraft, yeah, I would say in the 4th round, I mean, he's a good value, and I think he's – a priority pick in the 4th round, depending on like, I still like a couple of the running backs like Kenneth Walker and Brees Hall, but like once those guys are off the board, then I think Kittle is like a priority pick there. I'd rather take him over the wide receivers, in my opinion. So yeah, I like, it's hard to not see him not be the potential wide receiver 1 in this offense kind of. The only thing that I'll say with Kittle is that there's been some years where he struggled with health. I believe he's 31 years old now.
Damn near every year.
Not saying he's going to fall off or anything, but he's up there in age that you could maybe start to see a decline. But I'm not like, I'm okay with still taking him like gladly in fantasy football. I just typically don't go tight end early. That's just one thing I don't do usually this year. I like to just wait on the tight end. I still don't even take Brock Bowers. I go Lab McConkey over Brock. But there's some guys in the 2nd round that will be off the board that I'll go Brock. But yeah, I think that George Kittle is, if he's healthy, there's no way he's not a top 3 tight end in fantasy football this year.
He's one of those players when I see him in the 4th round, because you talk about in best ball, like in best ball, he normally goes, it's at the turn, right? He'll go like back into the 3rd, top of the 4th. When I see George Kittle in the 4th round, I take it. Like he's one of those players because he does go with the risky RB2s and he goes with the high end like wide receiver 3, back end wide receiver 2s. Yeah. And to me, it's such a hit. Like, you know what you're getting out of him. The one thing about Kittle too is like he's not volume dependent. Like I think McBride and Bowers, they both kind of need like that 90 to 100 catch range to be valuable. Like Kittle can get 70 catches and still be the tight end 1. That's how crazy his yard per. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets so many yards per catch. It's at a different level than the other tight ends. They really use him as a receiver, a deep threat, and his yak ability is, you know what I'm saying? Like he's just one of the better tight ends in the game. So
would you go with him or Brees?
That's a tough one because I do go Brees sometimes, but for the most part, I think the positional value you get with Kittle is kind of crazy.
I think Kittle's probably honestly safer.
Yeah, and I think what's crazy is more recently, you might be able to get Kittle and then Brees in the 5th.
Brees has been falling quite a bit.
He's been falling a lot lately, man. But yeah, Kittle, I mean, if you want elite tight end and you miss out on Brock and McBride, it's literally the same cluster to me.
Yeah.